Welcome to day 4 here at TorahFamilyLiving.com as we are writing out our daily scriptures. Today we are in the book of Psalms, chapter 31, looking at verses 7 through 12. We're in the middle of chapter 31, and even though it's broken up a little bit, there's some nuances of it that really help us to understand what it's like to have a relationship with Yahweh. So let's read the scriptures and then make a few comments today. Starting in verse 7. I exalt and rejoice in your loving commitment, for you have seen my afflictions. You have known the distresses of my life. You have not shut me up into the hands of the enemy. You have set my feet in a large place. Show me favor, O Yahweh, for I am in distress. My eyes, my being, and my body have become old with grief. For my life is consumed in sorrow, my years in sighing. My strength fails because of my crookedness, and my bones have become old. I am a reproach among all my adversaries, but most of all among my neighbors, and a dread of my friends. Those who see me outside flee from me. I have been forgotten, like someone dead from the heart. I have been like a missing vessel. David is going through some difficult times here. Again, as we see chapter 31, it is associated with the time in which he was fleeing from Shaul, from Saul, King Saul, as Saul was trying to kill him at this point. And David is lamenting here, and he's talking about how he feels the grief and the weightiness of all the responsibility and everything that's happening, where he sees that all around him, his friends, his family, and those that are his own native people have disdain and dislike for him. At least that was his perception. That was how he felt. And he talks about here that it was my strength fails because of my crookedness. And he understands that his weakness and his shortcomings, that's all on him. That every time he fails, that's his failure. And he recognizes that and he embraces that. How do I know that? Because he starts out this particular portion of 31 and saying, I exult and rejoice in your loving commitment. When we understand that Yahweh's loving commitment, it isn't just a commitment, it is a loving commitment. It's one that is eternal. It is one that is sure. It is one that can never be thwarted or changed in any way. Go to 1 Corinthians when we talk about Yahweh's character of his love. Nothing can take you from the security of the love that he has for you, that you're in his hand. When you are in him, you have this. And David understood this, that this commitment that Yahweh had was not just a commitment that said, yes, I will do this, and you can rest assured to that, but it was a commitment of love, that he was doing this out of love. And he did it and does it because he does love. And so this commitment that he has towards us and keeping out what he said he's going to do in and with our lives, he is always going to be there. Why? Because he's committed. When we stumble and when we fall, it is our fault. David says here, he said, this is my sorrow that is consuming me, and my strength fails because of my crookedness. It is me. This is one of the greatest pivotal points that we have to recognize in our relationship, when we realize and then we step up and say, this is my fault. This is me who did this. I did this. It's called taking responsibility in your own actions and the things that you do. And when you do that, things change tremendously for you. You begin to see what that loving commitment of Yahweh is really all about. When you can take your eyes off you, stop being self-pitied and holding all kinds of things in. Let that go and look to the Father. Take responsibility for what you did. And just as Yeshua prayed on the cross for the thief next to him, and for all those that were down on the ground and those that were crucifying him, Yeshua said this amazing thought. He said, Father, forgive them, But he didn't just stop there. He said, they don't know what they're doing. Because if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't do that. So often, the Father has to forgive us. He doesn't have to forgive us. He chooses to forgive us because he loves us, because he understands that we don't understand. You say, well, wait a minute. Everybody knows what they do when they're sinning. No, they don't. If you really understood the consequences of your sin, or what the sin was that you were doing, you would never do it. So when Yeshua prays that prayer to the Father over the people there, forgive them for they know not what they do, that is echoing throughout the time span of eternity, because Yah knows that we are not very smart. We think we know, but we don't. We don't know what we're doing. We have to trust and have a commitment with him, because he is committed to us. And when we're not, that's on us, not him. Isn't it reassuring to know that it is he who is committed and doesn't change for us? Even all the times that we go up, down, up, down, up, down, and we see all the things happening around us, the chaos that sets into our lives, he remains faithful and true and committed. The promises that he gave Father Abraham, the promises that he gave to David, the promises that he's made out through his entire scriptures will come true. If they haven't yet, they are eternally stamped, so they cannot be thwarted in any way, shape, or form. And this is the one that we serve. This one who has a loving commitment toward us in finishing that he has begun in his creation. Well, I hope this has been encouraging for you today. Blessings.